You probably won't survive this one without yelling at your screen. Imagine walking up to your own $63 million jet, only to get blocked, grabbed, and treated like an intruder in front of a growing crowd. That's exactly what happens to Amara Sterling this morning at Teterboro Airport. And trust Muhat unfolds next turns one quiet CEO into the single most powerful person on that tarmac. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Oh, and while you're at it, drop your city and current time in the comments. I love seeing where everyone's watching from. Amara walks calmly toward her Gulfstream G650, the sun glinting off its flawless white fuselage. Tail number N650SA, bold as a billboard. But Derek Collins, the ground crew supervisor with 20 years of authority, sees none of it. To him, Amara, black woman in understated elegancy, is simply out of place. Mom, you absolutely cannot board this aircraft. He snaps, planting himself in her path like a brick wall. The tone alone could curdle milk. And just like that, whispers ripple across the private terminal. Other crew members glance up, assuming it's yet another entitled passenger trying to snag a luxury photo op. One even chuckles quietly, until Derek makes the mistake that'll later define his career. He grabs Amara's arm. Not hard enough to injure, but firm enough to humiliate. A quiet, sharp gasp escapes from a nearby. Stafford's the kind of moment where everyone knows something's about to go horribly wrong. Security radios crackle, calling for backup, while a 20-something crewman named Tyler Brooks goes live on Instagram. His caption? Karen tries to board billionaire's private jet. Yeah, historians still argue whether that's where the internet really started melting down. But this is definitely when it caught fire. Within minutes, comments pour in, call security. Who does she think she is? And one hilarious plot twist incoming. Irony loading at 100%. Amara doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't plead. Instead, she slowly opens her Hermes bag, calmly photographing Collins's badge, employee ID, and even the surrounding scene. What are you doing? Derek demands, voice cracking just slightly. Taking notes? Amara replies evenly, her tone soft yet unervingly precise. She taps her watch, a Patek Philippe worth more than Derek's annual salary, and simply adds, occupational habit. Collins scoffs, gesturing at the $63 million jet. This belongs to Sterling Aerospace, one of the biggest defense contractors in the U.S. You have no business here. Around them, a few ground crew members pause mid-task, their curiosity simmering just beneath smirks. Amara tilts her head slightly, dark eyes sharp enough to slice through steel. Yes, she says softly, I'm very aware of who owns it. No one realizes yet, but the storm has already begun to form. Collins folds his arms, doubling down like a poker player holding a losing hand. Ma'am, if you're here to clean or stock the galley, you'll need to use the service entrance. His tone drips condescension, and someone in the back actually snickers. Tyler Brooks, still live on Instagram, zooms in for a better shot. His audience has doubled to nearly 400 viewers, and one commenter nails the mood perfectly. Man's about to regret every vowel he just said. Amara doesn't flinch. She opens her phone's notes app and starts typing methodically, mechanically, capturing every word, every gesture, every witness. Derek notices and scoffs again. Are you seriously taking notes on me doing my job? She doesn't even look up. I document everything that might be relevant later. She replies softly. Scholars still argue whether that line, or what comes next, is what made this clip legendary. But this was the first crack in the dam. Janet Morrison, the terminal manager, storms over, her heels clicking like a metronome of escalating panic. What seems to be the issue here? She asks, giving Amara the kind of dismissive glance reserved for problem passengers. Derek puffs his chest. Unauthorized access attempt. Subject refuses to provide employment credentials or service authorization. Janet nods briskly and turns to Amara. Mom, you need to step away from this area. This is restricted corporate property. Tyler whispers into his phone mic. Now the manager's here. It's about to get messy. Oh, he has no idea. Amara finally lifts her gaze, her voice perfectly calm. Are you asking me to leave? Ms. Morrison? The terminal manager crosses her arms. I'm offering a solution that works for everyone involved. And there it is, the smug corporate smile. Equal parts condescension and confidence. Amara blinks once, then drops the quietest grenade imaginable. Based on what specific assessment criteria? Morrison falters, the tiniest crack in her polished armor. But before she can answer, Amara opens her Hermes-bag again slowly, deliberately, and pulls out a sleek leather case. The crowd leans in, sensing something cinematic about to happen. She withdraws a key fob, its Sterling Aerospace insignia catching the morning light. She clicks it once. The Gulfstream G650 roars awake like a mechanical dragon. Engines spin up with a deep, rising hum. Navigationsstrobes blink rhythmically. Cabin lights bloom in warm gold. The hydraulic door descends with perfect precision. The crowd gasps. Brooks screams into his phone. Hollish owns the jet. The live stream explodes. 3,000 viewers. Then 5,000. Then 8,000. Comments flood in so fast they're unreadable. Plot twist of the century. This is CEO energy on max mode. Somebody get Derek a career counselor. Amara steps closer, placing a neat stack of aircraft registration documents on a nearby cart like a lawyer laying out irrefutable evidence. This, she says softly, is my aircraft. And for the first time, Derek Collins, a man who'd spent 20 years barking orders, looks like he's forgotten how to breathe. A silence rolls across the tarmac. Thick and absolute. Engines hum behind her. The $63 million Gulfstream glowing like proof carved in gold. Amara gestures lightly to the document's government seals. FAA signatures. Purchase agreements totaling $63. $2 million. Every page immaculate and devastating. Registration number N650SA. She says softly. Purchased outright. Owned by Sterling Aerospace Corporation. Morrison blinks, struggling for words. But Amara doesn't wait. From her tablet, she pulls up a contract so detailed it might as well be a guillotine. The terminal's own service agreement with Sterling Aerospace. Section 12. 4. Subsection C. She reads, her voice carrying like a gavel strike. Immediate termination of services for any breach of anti-discrimination clauses. Tyler Brooks's live stream rockets past 10,000 viewers. Comments pouring in faster than his screen can process. She's the CEO? Derek's resume just evaporated. This is better than Netflix. Scholars still debate whether this was the precise moment corporate America learned what check the manifest first really means. William Hayes, the terminal's general manager, pushes through the crowd looking pale enough to pass for marble. He knows exactly who Amara Sterling is, seen her face in industry memos. Signed her multi-million-dollar service contracts. Probably approved her VIP clearance himself. MS. Sterling. He stammers. Let's resolve this professionally. Amara doesn't raise her voice. Doesn't even look at him directly. Instead, she swipes to another screen. Financial figures this time. Sterling Aerospace represents $12 million annually for this terminal. She says evenly. That's 5% of your operating revenue. Morrison audibly gasps. Collins just slumps against the baggage cart, as though the math itself knocked the air from his lungs. Here are your options. Amara continues, eyes never leaving her tablet. Option 1. Immediate termination of involved employees. Public apology within 4 hours. And full retraining across all locations. Option 2. I cancel every Sterling Aerospace contract nationwide and forward this live stream to federal oversight. You will lose $12 million annually before lunch. Hayes freezes. Somewhere in the background, Tyler whispers into his phone, ladies and gentlemen, Derek's career just left the building. Within minutes, legal counsel confirms Hayes' surrender. Derek Collins is terminated on the spot, escorted out with his badge confiscated and access revoked. Janet Morrison is demoted to entry-level customer service. Her management credentials stripped before she can even process it. The livestream peaks at 22,000 viewers as Amara calmly documents each decision like a surgeon finishing stitches. But Amara doesn't stop there. She mandates monthly federal audits, 40-hour bias training for all staff, and creates a new passenger advocacy program with encrypted reporting directly to government oversight. Within weeks, Signature Flight Support launches a sweeping nationwide diversity initiative, desperate to repair its reputation. Other private aviation companies scramble to follow suit, terrified of becoming the next viral case study. 18 months later, Amara Sterling testifies before the Senate Commerce Committee. Her quiet authority commands the entire room as she recounts the incident not with outrage, but precision. Discrimination, she says softly, is rarely about ignorance. It's about assumption. Economic ownership is the great equalizer if you understand how to wield it. The clip goes on to inspire policy reform across luxury service industries. From private jets to five-star hotels. Business schools make her case study required reading. Entrepreneurs quote her methods in keynote speeches. And the viral video? Now over 27 million views and counting. Still teaching new viewers every single day. Because sometimes you don't have to raise your voice to change an entire industry. You just need the receipts. And as the roar of the jet fades into a low, steady hum, the chaos of that morning dissolves like mist under sunlight. The tarmac quiets. The crowd drifts. And Amara stands there, still composed, her tablet tucked neatly away as though the confrontation never happened. The Gulf Stream glows beneath the fading sun. But it's not the jet itself that steals the breath, it's the reminder of what quiet power looks like when it finally decides to speak. In the weeks that follow, the narrative begins to shift. Where headlines once shouted about humiliation and outrage, they now whisper about reform and accountability. Executives across industries sit up a little straighter, rethink their training programs, and begin to audit not just their policies, but their assumptions. Service employees learn to greet each passenger as though they might be sitting across from a Senate subcommittee one day, and maybe, just maybe, that's a good thing. Even years later, business schools still dissect the moment, rewinding the video like an artifact of modern leverage. Professors ask students what they would have done differently, but most eventually agree. There was no louder statement than Amara's calm, no greater weapon than preparation, documentation, and timing. So, the next time someone questions your place, your right, or your presence, remember this: authority doesn't need shouting, and dignity doesn't need permission. You hold more power than you think sometimes. You just need to let the receipts do the talking. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the reason an entire industry changes.